Hi everyone. For today's lesson, we are going to continue to discuss Chapter 1, Method. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about percentage yield. What is percentage yield? Percentage yield can be defined as ratio of the actual yield that obtained from the experiment to the theoretical yield that is obtained from the stoichiometric calculation and multiplied by 100%. Percentage yield is used to determine how efficient an experiment, which is described the proportion of the actual of the theoretical yield. The amount of the limiting reactant present at the start of the reaction determines the theoretical yield of the reaction. That is the amount of product that will result if the entire limiting reactant reacted. To determine the percentage yield, we can calculate by using this formula. Percentage yield equals to actual yield in grams divided by theoretical yield in gram multiplied with 100%. The theoretical yield is the maximum obtainable yield, which can be predicted by the balance equation. The actual yield is the amount of the product actually obtained from the reaction or the experiment. Let's take a look for an example. If we have carbon tetrachloride that prepared by reacting 90 grams of CS2 and 95 grams of Cl2, calculate the yield if 62 grams of CCl4 was obtained from the experiment. The chemical reaction is given. To answer this question, first we need to determine the number of mole of each substance. The number of mole of CS2 that is equals to 1.181 mole, while the number of mole of Cl2 is equals to 1.338 mole. From the given balanced chemical equation, it shows that 1 mole of CS2 requires 3 mole of Cl2. Thus, if 1.181 mole of Cl2 available, how many mole of Cl2 needed? To determine the number of mole of Cl2 needed, we can use the cross-multiply method, and it will obtain the number of mole of Cl2 needed with 3.543 mole. By comparing the number of mole of Cl2 available with the number of mole of Cl2 needed, it shows that the number of mole of Cl2 available is less than the number of mole of Cl2 needed. Thus, we can make a conclusion that is Cl2 is the limiting reactant. From the given balanced chemical equation, it shows that 3 mole of Cl2 produces 1 mole of CCl4. If 1.338 mole of Cl2 reacted, how many moles of CCl4 produced? To determine the number of mole of CCl4 to be produced, we can use the cross-multiply method. It will obtain the number of mole of CCl4 with 0.446 mole. From the number of mole, we can convert into mass by multiplying the number of mole with molar mass. Thus, it will obtain the mass of the CCl4 with 68.68 grams. To determine the percentage yield, we can calculate by using the formula. Substitute all the value obtained from the calculation into the formula. The actual yield of the CCl4 is 62 gram, divided by the theoretical value they obtained from the calculation with 68.68 grams. Multiply with 100, it will obtain 90.27%. Now, you can try these exercise questions. We will discuss the answer during our class meeting.